Almost every item found in a store and just about anything a consumer buys is stored or shipped in cardboard or corrugated boxes. And the paper used to make many of these boxes is kraft paper. Smurfit Stone Containers Fernandina Mill, located in Fernandina Beach, Florida, is a kraft paper making facility. That means it is involved in all phases of the paper making process. The mill is known for its strong, high-quality paper for box manufacturing. Raw materials, such as wood and old corrugated containers, are converted into pulp, pulp into kraft paper, and kraft paper into customer specifications. The paper-making process begins in the forests. Trees use sunlight, water, and carbon dioxide to make wood. And since trees are a renewable resource, Smurfit Stone Container ensures that all of its lands are regenerated after harvesting. We plant 3 trees for every 1 harvested. Smurfit Stone Container's forestry staff carefully nurtures its timber resources to sustain not only wood production, but soil and water conservation, wildlife management, and air quality. In addition to wood, we also use old corrugated cartons, known as OCC, as a raw material. These are reclaimed from grocery and department stores, as well as municipal facilities. They're compacted and delivered to our reclaim centers across the country. Every day, trucks and rail cars bring pulpwood, wood chips, and corrugated containers to the woodyard and recycle areas of our mill. The use of these renewable resources is an important part of mill operations. The pulpwood is unloaded for ultimate conversion to chips, which are placed in separate storage areas. As needed, the pulpwood is removed from the piles and placed in a water flume where they are carried to 1 or 2 debarking drums. The drums are huge cylinders open at both ends so the wood can pass through. The drums remove the bark by friction of the pulpwood rubbing against each other and against the sides of the drums. Bark then falls onto conveyors that carry it to the bark chippers. The removed bark is mixed with some of the wood waste and transported by conveyors to the bark reclaimer to be used as fuel. Our number 5 power boiler is called a waste fuel boiler. It uses the bulk of our mill's fiber waste as fuel and converts this waste to usable steam and electricity. Our largest boiler, the number 7 boiler, makes processed steam which is used to generate electricity from a fuel source of coal. Some of the bark is also transported to a pile where it is sold as commercial landscape material. There are over 5 miles of conveyors that stretch across the woodyard carrying chips and byproducts to the next destination. The debarked logs are conveyed to one of 2 disc chippers, where steel knives slice them into chips of a designated size in a matter of seconds. Each chipper is capable of handling a maximum of 90 cords per hour, the equivalent of 10 truckloads. The chips are then transported by conveyors to one of the stacker reclaimers. The stacker reclaimers are large 250 feet diameter chip storage bins. Chips from our number 1 reclaimer are sent to the Kamer continuous digester, and chips from our number 2 reclaimer are sent to one of 8 batch digesters. Prior to the digesters, the chips are taken to the screen room where they pass over a scalping screen that separates strings, limbs, and other foreign objects. Chips of the appropriate size pass through the screening process, while the thicker chips are sliced to proper size and then sent to the digesters for further processing. The OCC material received at our recycle plant makes up approximately 15% of all pulp used at the mill. This is about 400 tons each day. Old corrugated containers are delivered in bales from 800 pounds up to 2,000 pounds. On a normal day, 1,000 bales are delivered to the recycle plant. The bales are fed into a continuous hydropulper, where they are mixed with water to form a stock solution. The hydropulper works like a blender to separate fibers in the slurry. From the hydropulper, the stock is cleaned and screened, removing contaminants such as plastic, metal, styrofoam, and other debris. Afterwards, the clean slurry is stored in high-density chests until it is blended with virgin stock. It will then be used in the base sheet on each of the paper machines. In our pulping process, wood chips are converted into the fibers used to make paper. Using large digesters that act like pressure cookers, the wood chips are added along with water and chemicals to remove the lignin and other impurities. This process changes the wood's chemical composition. Lignin, what we call nature's glue, is the substance that holds the wood fibers together. Our skilled pulp mill operators have the ability to control and monitor the pulping and washing process and the wood feed equipment from this computer-aided central control command center. The combined chips and chemicals are then cooked under pressure in an alkaline solution known as white liquor. A large portion of the pulping process involves recycling the cooked chemicals. Turpentine and soap are byproducts of the pulping process and are used by other industries to produce consumer products. Our lime kiln recovers chemicals for ultimate reuse in the cooking of our wood. It is one of the largest in the industry and is a major component of our effort to reduce mill TRS, or total reduced sulfur, better known as the egg smell. Our processes keep this well below the industry standard. Once the lignin is dissolved, the digester empties the combined wood fibers and chemical slurry, now called pulp, into a designated tank. The good fibers that ultimately produce quality paper are mixed with the chemical slurry. This pulp stream is sent to a screening and washing process. A small portion of the lignin contained in the original wood chips still remains in the pulp, giving it a tan color. The clean virgin pulp, still in slurry form, is now ready to be mixed with the recycled fiber and be converted into paper. First, washed and refined pulp enters one end of the paper machine. Here, it passes through several important operations that gradually change it into liner board before it exits the other end. The Fernandina mill contains 3 high-speed paper machines. Each produces high-grade linerboard used in the production of the inside and exterior walls of boxes. The linerboard ranges in grade from 26-pound to 69-pound basis weight, with a combined average daily production of over 2,700 tons from all 3 machines. Each paper machine uses both virgin and recycled pulp from common storage chests. The pulp supply to each machine is controlled by highly skilled employees who monitor the process to very high specifications. Their job is to ensure that the quality of the product exceeds the customer's expectations. The pulp slurry, consisting of a precise fiber and water mixture, flows into the machine's head box. Here, the pulp slurry is distributed evenly across a fast-moving screen called a wire, where it forms a uniform sheet. As the wet sheet travels on the screen, water drains through its openings. When it leaves the screen, the still wet but formed sheet is picked up on a fast-moving belt made of felt. The belt carries the sheet through a press section, where rolls squeeze more water from the sheet and press the fibers closer together. As it leaves the press rolls, the sheet is transferred to another belt, which winds the paper through a series of heated rolls. By the time the paper exits the dryer section, most of the water has been removed. The remainder is left in the paper to keep it from becoming brittle and cracking. Mill paper water which is not reused is sent to our state-of-the-art wastewater treatment facility. The sheet is wrapped onto a large reel for rewinding to our customers' desired specifications. Each jumbo reel may contain from 8 to 20 individual customers' rolls. When the production of the craft rolls is completed, they are inspected for any defects, then conveyed through the roll handling system and labeled for identification. The rolls are banded to maintain proper dimensions and integrity, and then routed to the shipping department. Each roll proceeds through a final inspection prior to shipment by rail, truck, or local port facility. On an average day, over 30 trucks and rail cars are loaded from the Fernandina mill. More than 8% of the product is exported through the Savannah, Georgia, and Fernandina ports. There you have it, a snapshot of how paper is made. There are a number of support people that, without their help, we couldn't produce the quality and quantity of paper. The maintenance teams help keep the equipment moving at a high rate of speed, and our administrative group buys supplies and tracks our costs. There's a small group of mechanical and electrical engineers that are constantly working to make our processes better, simplify the complicated, and develop new ways of making paper better. They are aided by a highly trained and efficient group known as the technical process engineers, who troubleshoot the paper-making process and test new chemicals and products for our use. And there's a dedicated group of janitors that keeps our work areas clean and neat. We know that the key to a successful operation is the talent of the people working at our mill. Each person is trained and empowered to do their job to the best of their ability. Their education does not end after high school. That's where it begins. Just like paper making is a process, so too is learning. And at Smurfit Stone Container, learning is a never-ending process, one that helps us make our product better for our customers and better for our community.